Welcome to the Wisdom That Breathes channel. Across all our platforms, we try to share wisdom which is relevant and accessible to everyone. But on this particular platform, we go deeper into some of the ancient principles found within the scriptures. If you find some of the terminology difficult or inaccessible, then go over to our Keshava Swami YouTube channel where you'll be able to find other content which is perhaps more relatable. Thank you and enjoy the wisdom that breathes. So thank you so much everyone for coming this afternoon. So there were many questions I think left from yesterday, so we can continue discussing. Our whole Shastra based on questions and answers in the Srimad Bhagavatam is explained that when the Ganga comes into the universe through the toes of Lord Vishnu and then they enter, then just as the Ganga comes in and enters into the universe, then it purifies the three worlds. So it's said that where Harikatha is going on and where there are sincere audience, speaker, then everyone is similarly becoming purified. There is the one who asks the question, the one who answers the question, and everyone who is hearing. And all three get purified. But of the three, do you know who gets purified the most? The speaker. What to do? You can be here next week. And then the one asking questions gets purified next. And then everyone else is also purified as long as the speaker is bona fide. I'll try to represent Srila Prabhupada's teachings today. So like this, yes, we must ask questions. Einstein said, never stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. So we must be curious. We must desire to understand things in a deeper way. And there is a certain mood of questioning that the Shastras give us, that there should be a real desire to understand and there should be an openness to receive. Yet one must use their intelligence. So yes, we have this opportunity this afternoon to discuss. So we give you the opportunity to ask some live questions. I think we have many written down on the sheet also. So just to, shall we begin? Who's reading out the questions? Okay, sure. So shall we begin with one question from the sheet and then we'll go on the floor like that. Democracy. Crazy. Close.
The question is, as we like coming to temple, but we are often so busy with school and studying, and we feel overwhelmed. How can we manage that?
Yes, so we like coming to the temple, but then we can't always be at the temple because we have so many different activities, so many different responsibilities. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was trying to spread the Krishna consciousness movement, then he told Haridas and Nityananda to go out. They were the original Sankirtan devotees. So they were going door to door. And as they were going door to door, they were knocking on every house. Mahaprabhu told them, knock on every house. Prati ghare ghare giya, magiye bhiksha, bolo Krishna, bhajo Krishna, koro Krishna shiksha. Prati ghare ghare giya, go to every single home and ask for one donation. Bolo Krishna, chant Krishna's name. Bhajo Krishna, serve Krishna. Koro Krishna Shiksha. Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani. Guru Krishna Shiksha, follow Krishna's instructions. So he said, if you follow these things, then your home becomes a temple. So there are 4 types of Vrindavan. Vrindavan in the spiritual world is called Goloka Vrindavan. Vrindavan in this world is called Bhauma Vrindavan, the earthly Vrindavan. But it's also said that if one becomes a devotee and creates an environment where Krishna is at the center, then that place also becomes Vrindavan or any holy dham. Therefore there is Jagannath Puri, but then I've heard there's also New Jagannath Puri. Because Jagannath became the center here. So then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says, Jai dina grihe bhajana dekhi grihe dekho loka pai. Every day when I come home, as I engage in my bhajan, grihe de goloka pai, I see that Goloka Vrindavan has manifested in my home. Most people when they go home, they only see Kurukshetra Dham. Some Brahmastras are flying. Maybe a few plates and spoons and other things. It's a different atmosphere we create, no? So, Grihe de Goloka Bhai, you can make your environment. And then, the 4th type of Vrindavan is the Vrindavan within the heart of the devotee. When Vidura went on pilgrimage and then he came back to the palace and Yudhishthira welcomed him back, then Yudhishthira, he says a beautiful verse. Bhavadvida bhagavatas tirtha bhuta swayam vibhu tirti kurvanti tirthani svantastena gadamritam. He said, Vidura, you are a walking place of pilgrimage. The dham is within your heart. And therefore, the great devotees, because they've installed Krishna within the center of their consciousness, Krishna is the first place in the heart, isn't it? The devotees, they wear those t-shirts. I lost my heart. So Jai Beta Maharaj once said, I hope you lost your heart to the right person. Ooh, anything can happen in the Dham. And she loves me. No, you came to be captured by Krishna. So yes, if you imprison Krishna within your heart, then you carry Krishna with you. So the temple is very, very special. We always try to come to the temple. But ultimately, we have to make our heart a temple. We have to make our home a temple. We have to, wherever we walk, we have to try to bring the energy of the spiritual world there. And so sometimes what Krishna does is he separates us from Sangha. Just like Krishna played his flute in Vrindavan, isn't it? Shriman Rasarasarambi Vamshi Vatatata Stita Karshan Venu Swaner Gopi Gopinathaya Shriye Sunaha. Yes, there is Krishna. He is under the Vamsivat tree. Karshan Venu, and he has a Venu, a beautiful flute. And when he plays it, it's like the whistle of a football match. The whole stadium, and then they blow the whistle. Now the match will start. So, Rasa Rasambi means when Krishna plays the flute, it signals the beginning of the Rasa dance. So everyone is running, all the gopis. But some gopis cannot go because, yes, there are some obstacles, there are some restrictions. So then it's said that they are at home and they are wondering, oh, I wish I was there, I wish I was there. But it's said that the fire of separation in their heart burns up any final impurity that may be there. So sometimes Krishna will be separated, we will be separated from Krishna. But even in that situation, you can also make a lot of advancement. because you have to intensify your own bhajan. So you won't live in the temple all the time. You can if you want to. We have vacancies. But most people will not, because we all have a different nature, no problem. But then we must learn the art of how to carry Krishna with us everywhere. So wherever you go, Jare Dekha, Tare Kaha, Krishna Upadesh. Mahaprabhu said, wherever you go, always tell people about Krishna. See, that will be very nice. Then wherever you go, it will always be like a spiritual atmosphere. Always. Whatever you can do, you engage people. Once we had a devotee who was from Sri Lanka. So he was a teacher. So can you understand what the problem is when you're from Sri Lanka and you're a teacher? Surname to board. Those are long surnames, you know. Tirumangal Jayasilam. Long names. So then for the students it's difficult, no? Because you have to say, like, if it's an Englishman, you say, Mr. Smith, Mr. Smith, Mr. But when it's a Sri Lankan, it's very long. It's difficult for the students, no? So the head teacher said that, I'm not discriminating against you, but this surname is too long. It's too difficult for the kids. So do you have like a nickname? Some other name? So he said, no problem. They can just call me Mr. Gauranga. So the kids everywhere, all day, they say, Mr. Gauranga, Mr. Gauranga, Mr. Gauranga, Gauranga, Bhaja Gauranga, Kaha Gauranga, Laha Gauranga, Nama Re. He's very expert, no? So he created very spiritual atmosphere. So somehow or other we have to create a spiritual atmosphere in our life. Change all of your passwords to Krishna 108. Then any devotee can hack into it. Change your pictures to Krishna. In India it's like that, no? Like the rickshaw driver, to hell with the speedometer. We don't need this speeding. Just put a picture of Krishna. Why do you need all this unnecessary apparatus? Just put a picture of Krishna. So like this we have to yena tena prakarena mana Krishna niveshayet. Somehow or other you have to bring Krishna in. And Krishna, you can bring him in everywhere. It's easy. Food plus Krishna equals music plus Krishna equals anywhere plus Krishna equals love. So we bring in Krishna everywhere. So that's the art. And sometimes when you have to, when you're a little bit away from Krishna, then actually it's better because it forces you to be more conscious of Krishna. Have you noticed how sometimes it works the other way? Sometimes you can be at the temple, but you're just thinking, oh man, I wonder who's winning the football match or something. Your mind is somewhere else, in a different place. But then when you're at home in some separation, then naturally the mind is more. So what I want to tell whoever asked that question is, don't be negative. Don't always think that you're going to fail. Don't think, oh no, I can't go to the temple, that's it, I'm going to fall into Maya, definitely I'm going to fall into Maya. Okay, I'll just watch the video then. No, don't be negative. In every situation, there is a unique opportunity to find Krishna. So sometimes we defeat ourselves by always thinking everything is negative. But it's all very good. When I joined the temple, sorry, this is a very long answer. This is what happens when we get behind the mic, you know. On and on and on. I may as well just say this now. Sometimes people ask me, what made you become a monk? So nowadays I think It was my mum and dad who made me a monk. Because when I joined, they were dead against it. And you know what kids are like? They always want to do the opposite to what their parents, rebel without a cause. So, but I realized when I joined the temple, nobody else of my friends, they had any opposition. At that time, not many Indians were joining the temple, so it was more like and in the Western, when they leave home, they're like, okay, yeah, time, you leave now, you go. But for Indian family, it's very difficult. They say for most people, the main obstacle to coming to Krishna consciousness is mahapap. They've done many bad activities. But for Indians, it's ma-bap. The mom and dad, they only give the big obstacle. Why are you going so deep? But then later on I realized that actually, because my mother and father opposed me, it made me think very deeply, why am I doing this? If no one had opposed me, then I would have just did it and not thought so much about it. But because people were saying, no, I had to think, why should I really do this? Why do I want to join the temple? Why do I want to worship Krishna? Why do I want to become a monk? But by being challenged, it made me go deeper and deeper. And then I understood, oh, this is why I'm doing it. Yes, I must do it. So sometimes challenge is also good. They say a smooth sea never made a good sailor. So a bit of rocky sea is good. A bit of challenge is good. Otherwise, if everything is easy, if everything is comfortable, if there's, 6 Mahaprasadam every day, yes, it's nice, but maybe a bit of challenge you need, a bit of separation you need. And in that separation, you meet Krishna. Did you know the Sanskrit word, this is going to turn into a whole class, my God. Did you know the Sanskrit word for separation? Viraha. Understand? Viraha means separation. But do you know viraha has a double meaning? Vishesha, rahasya, unmilam. Understand? Vishesha means special, rahasya means confidential, unmilam means meeting. So the Sanskrit word viraha means separation, but it simultaneously means a very, very special type of confidential meeting. Sometimes when you're separated from someone, you are meeting them in a more special way. That's why social media has killed relationships. You know why? There's no viraha anymore. There's no viraha. Because every time you're seeing them on your screen. Oh, I'm eating this, I'm doing this, I'm in Phoenix, I'm doing that. But previously, once someone was gone, you never saw them. No? Maybe you get a postcard. Put your hand up if you remember postcards. Maybe the postcard will make it. Otherwise, you don't see them for 2 months, you don't hear them, you don't see any picture. But it was very good. Because the viraha, the separation, brought greater appreciation. But now there's no viraha. This social media, Instagram, killed it. So some separation is good. Krishna, love for Krishna is like a flowing river. And on that flowing river of Krishna Prem, there are 2 banks. Understand? A river can only flow if there are 2 banks. One of the banks is called Sambhoga, which means meeting. And the other bank is called Vipralambha, which means separation. So the river of love for Krishna is flowing through the 2 banks of meeting and separation. So sometimes at the temple, meeting, kirtan, haribol, and sometimes separation, yes, away from the devotees, away from Sangha. But even that, wonderful, a great opportunity to meet Krishna. So let us be positive. Is that okay?
Hare Krishna, is there any questions from the audience?
Yes. Hare Krishna Maharaj. This question is related to a Brahmin initiated devotee who's due to bad health, loss of memory, fails to do even the chanting properly because of old age, loss of memory. Is not able of chanting properly and loses Krishna consciousness. Sometimes even forget the Gayatri Mantra. So what's the situation with this devotee who cannot chant properly due to loss of memory and old age? Thank you.
On Tuesday will be the disappearance of His Grace Jayananda Prabhu. Jayananda Prabhu ki. All of you aware, Jayananda Prabhu, you should. He was a real Jagannath Bhakta. Jayananda? He was the one who began the Rath Yatra for Srila Prabhupada. So if you have not heard of Jayananda Prabhu, you're living in New Jagannath Puri, you must hear of Jayananda Prabhu. So hopefully on Tuesday someone will speak. So he was a great devotee, he was so hard working. He was throwing out the rubbish every day, but he was like the dustbin man. They call dustbin man here? Trash collector for the temple. But he was so enthusiastic, singing, throwing the... So a new person came to the temple, and you know when a new person comes, you check them out first to see how serious it is. So you just help him clean up. So he was with Jayananda all day, this new person. At the end of the day, he said, I want to join this movement. He said, because if the dustbin man in the temple is so happy, I can't imagine what everyone else is like. Jayananda was just so enthusiastic. But he was not such a scholar. So Prabhupada was giving him Brahmin initiation. Prabhupada was trying to teach him the Gayatri Mantra. And he just couldn't get it. Prabhupada tried again, he couldn't get it. And then Prabhupada just started laughing. Prabhupada slapped his thigh, he said, you guys will never get it. And then Prabhupada said, but you're so sincere. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Mother Yamuna Devi, you've heard her name. She was a wonderful singer. She sung with such bhav. So one time she was in her room and she was singing. And actually, not in her room, maybe in the studio. And George Harrison, he was listening to her sing. So she was by herself, and then she was playing the harmonium, and then he decided to record. So she was singing the song, Bajahure Mana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Now the amazing thing is, when she was singing it wrong. Because the lyrics are Bajahure Mana Shri Nandanandana. But what was she singing? Bhaja Mana Hure. It's not Bhaja Mana Hure. It's Bhaja Hure Mana Shri Nandanandana. But she was singing with such love. Bhaja Mana Hure. You've heard this song, no? It's a classic. So Prabhupada heard it. Prabhupada said, publish it. I said, but Prabhupada, she's singing the lyrics wrong. These are the songs of the Vaishnavacharyas. The lyrics are wrong. It's not Bhaja Mana Hure. It's Bhaja Hure Mana. Prabhupada said, it doesn't matter. More important than pronunciation is one's bhav. One time a Indian man, he came to Prabhupada, he said, your disciples don't chant the Sanskrit properly. Prabhupada said their pronunciation may be defective, but their renunciation is perfect. So in Shastra we find a beautiful verse. Murkho vadati Vishnaya, dhiro vadati Vishnave, ubayor tu samam punyam, bhavagrahi janardana. You want to know where this name, bhavagrahi janardana, it comes from this verse only. Murkho vadati Vishnaya. If one doesn't know Sanskrit, he will say Vishnaya. He's wrong. Dhiro vadati Vishnave. The intelligent person knows not Vishnaya, Vishnave. But what does the verse say? Ubayor tu samam punyam. They get the same benefit. Because bhavagrahi janardana. Krishna just sees the bhav. So the most important thing is that one is sincere. Krishna doesn't need anything, but Krishna is just interested in one's sincerity, one's endeavor. Sometimes because of health, sometimes because of sometimes old age, sometimes if we undergo some challenge, then in that time we may not be able to do everything externally perfectly. But as long as the person is trying their best. One of our devotees in London, actually, he some years ago, he got a stroke. To everything, lost all ability, couldn't speak. But the amazing thing is, he couldn't do anything. He can't speak. He still can't. But the one thing he can do is chant the Maha Mantra. He can't do anything else. It's amazing. But the one thing he can do is chant the Maha Mantra. He can even lead a kirtan. But if to speak anything else, he can't. Not one thing. But he can do the Maha Mantra. So with whatever capacity we have, we try. Just like Mahaprabhu went to South India, no? And then he saw that illiterate Brahmana. And he was trying to read Bhagavad Gita. And Mahaprabhu saw around him everyone was laughing. So he came up to the South Indian Brahmin. He said, why are they laughing? He said, they're laughing because they are all very learned, but I cannot read Bhagavad Gita. I don't have that intelligence. So Mahaprabhu said, but I'm looking at you and you have tears in your eyes. He said, yes, even though I can't read Bhagavad Gita, when I think of how Krishna, who's the supreme person, has become the servant of his devotee. You know what it means to be a chariot driver. On the battlefield is so loud that when the warrior wants to direct the charioteer, he can't say, go left, go right, you can't hear. So if they want to tell them, go left, they give them a big kick on the left. And if they need to go right, they give the charioteer a kick on the right. Krishna had taken the position of a charioteer. Senayor ubayor madhye ratham stapayam mechuta. Krishna has become the Senapati. The Brahmana said, when I think of how Krishna has taken this position, it fills my eyes with tears. Krishna has everything. But Krishna comes to serve his devotee. He said, it brings tears to my eyes. Mahaprabhu said, you, all these guys, you the one who have understood Bhagavad Gita. They didn't understand. Because you have the bhav. Everything is in bhav. Mirabai, she was walking once and someone was singing, and it was some people they can sing, some people try. Like also we have a little like, some of us can't sing so well, you know. So Mirabai was walking, and then this person was singing a little bit out of tune. So someone was complaining, oh no, rag, it's wrong rag, not in rag. Then Mirabai walked past, she said, rag, oh no rag. But question is, do they have anurag? Anurag means bhav, emotion. So this is the saving grace. We may have so many limitations, but Krishna is so kind. We only have to try our best. And then Krishna reciprocates. So Krishna doesn't see how much you're giving, but He's seeing how much you're holding back. So if you only have a little to give Krishna, Krishna, I don't have much, but whatever I have, it's all yours. That's surrender. But when someone is in such a situation, we should always help. This is our opportunity to help them. So if they're surrounded by devotees, then it will be better for them. So we have to try to help. Does this help in some way? Thank you.
The next question, how do we bring Krishna into the new generation of people when we are still following the old system?
The old system. See, for some things in Krishna consciousness are never going to change. Once I was on Harinam in London, in Scotland, north of England. And then I came, at the end of the Harinam, one person came and he said, I love you guys. You're always singing, you're always smiling, you're always dancing. But don't you guys have any new songs? I was explaining to him, old system, golden, old is gold. So some things in Krishna consciousness will never change. The holy name is never going to change. The Bhagavatam is never going to change. The fact that we have a temple and we worship Prabhupada or bring our offerings to Jagannath will never change. So some things don't need to change. The old system is beautiful and it works, and it's the eternal system that Krishna has set up. But then we have to be dynamic. We have to learn how to share Krishna consciousness with people in such a way that is relevant to them. Once Srila Prabhupada was in San Francisco or New York, I can't remember. And in the middle of the class, one of the hippies put his hand up and he said, Swamiji, what is the spiritual world like? That's a good question. So Prabhupada could have said, Chintamani prakara sadma sukalpa vriksha lakshavrateshu shurabhira vipalayantam. There are many Lakshmis and they're serving Krishna and it's full of surabhi cows and they're desire trees with full of studded gems, and he could have said. But Prabhupada looked at the hippie and he said, what is the spiritual world like? The spiritual world is like an ocean of LSD. Ocean of LSD? Wow! I want to go there. Ocean of LSD. Cows, I don't know. Desire trees. Ocean of LSD. See, Prabhupada was so expert. He knew how to reach the people with the right type of language. If you want to take someone on a journey, first you have to meet them where they are. Everyone is looking for Krishna. In one sense, it's all there. But we just have to show them how they're actually looking for Krishna. And that means we have to take them from where they are and then step by step take them to their desire. And that means sometimes we have to adjust our language, sometimes we have to adjust our presentation, sometimes we have to adjust the way we do things, just so that it will be more comfortable and relevant. See? Like say for example, when Srila Prabhupada came to America, then he did Harinam on the street. So the devotees were going out on the street doing Harinam. But actually when Srila Prabhupada went to India, did you know that at one point he stopped Harinam? Because in India, to go out on the street like that in some places is seen as almost like a begging type of activity. So Prabhupada said, don't do it there, because they have a different perception. In other words, in different countries there are different cultures. And it's not that we change Krishna consciousness, but what we have to do is be able to relate to the culture of the time so that people can feel more comfortable and relatable. So for example, if you go to China and you start serving, I don't know, like, what can I say? Dal dokri or something like that. No, you don't know that, no? Gujarati. Okay, like say for example, you serve them like a really spicy sabji or something in China. They won't be able to, it will be too much for them. You have to boil pasta, right? This kind of very bland, more bland. So we have to understand the place and then adjust according to. So, yes, preserve but also adapt. Both things have to be there. If you don't preserve, then you lose the essence. But if you don't adapt, then you become irrelevant. So we have to be relevant. Is that okay? Anyone in the audience would like to ask? Yes? You have to wait for the mic.
Hi Krishna Maharaj, I'm really honored to be in your association. I would like to know, how has your life changed since you became a monk initially in the early days, as well as when you took to the renounced order of life or sannyas like last year?
So how has life changed from being a brahmachari to a sannyasi, like that?
No, how has it changed since when you became a monk in the beginning from normal life?
Oh, that first change and then the second change?
And then the second change.
Second change, okay. So I was 21 and I became a monk. I didn't think I would be a monk for very long. My dad told me actually, he said, 2 things in life, don't go too deep. Politics and religion. He said, because once you go in, you won't come out. So I said, don't worry Dad, I'm a balanced person, I'm balanced. So he already could understand. So it wasn't my plan actually. I think all of us in this room, we never planned in the beginning to become this serious about Krishna consciousness. I mean, we liked the devotees, we liked everything, but we never planned like, oh my God, it's going to take over our life. So I said, let me try 1 year, let me see what happens. How did my life change? What can I say? It changed externally in very drastic ways, living in the temple, waking up early, living with so many people. I grew up at home in a good family in London. I had my own room, I had my own schedule, and now here I was living in the temple, no private space. alarm clocks going off from 2:30 in the morning. Every 10 minutes someone's alarm clock goes off. So it was difficult. It was difficult to adjust in the beginning. I remember I used to get up in the morning in the temple. I was so tired. I wasn't a morning person, you know. Even if I would go sleep at 7 o'clock to wake up for Mangalarti, I would feel so tired. So one time I came into the temple room and then I did my dandavats to Prabhupada. And then I fell asleep. So all the devotees were looking at me thinking, my God, I thought, what a bhagat, man. Oh, so much surrender. So much bhakti. Just see. Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada. Then they blew the conch for the Mangalarti was starting. So it's like, oh. So it was an adjustment, you know. Then you have to live with so many people. You live in a Hare Krishna temple, it's like, one time we were in a brahmachari class and the devotee said, look around you. So we all started looking at each other. He said, if it wasn't for Krishna consciousness, would you be friends with any of these people? So we looked around like, no, probably not. So we were so different. It's a different culture, different people, different way of living, different, everything was different language. So it was a change. Everything is a change. So when I became a monk, it was a change. But I was young, so it was good. It was an adventure. But very quickly it became very, very wonderful. Yesterday I told you, Shivram Swami gave me the instruction, don't be boring. So one thing I can definitely say is when I came and became a monk, life was never boring. Every day there was something, some adventure, some excitement, some project, some miracle of Krishna. It's the most beautiful life. When you try to serve Krishna, Krishna becomes so much active. Krishna becomes so present. So from day one we were taught, you must always try to share Krishna with others. So we used to go out on the street and we used to distribute books. Amazing things were happening. So exciting. You know, once I was distributing books, I was having a difficult time. You know, sometimes it happens. No. For 2 hours I couldn't, so I thought, I've got to try something different. So what I started doing is I started speaking in American accent. I thought, let me just try. So I said, hey, how you doing? I'm from Miami, I'm just traveling through, I'm a monk. We're just trying to share the wisdom with people about yoga, meditation. Are you interested in this kind of stuff? Like, I'm from America. People were like, who is this guy? He's tall, Indian, American, Miami. So people was working. So people started stopping. So then I stopped this one boy, so I started speaking. Most people, what I would do is after 1 minute, I would just say, oh, I'm only joking, I'm English. I'm just... Yeah. But with this, he was like captivated, so I had to carry on. So like now 2 minutes, 5 minutes I'm speaking, my throat is becoming so sore. But I have to continue. So after 10 minutes of speaking as an American accent, and then he said, this is amazing. He said, okay, I want you to come on my show. I said, what do you mean show? He said, I'm from the local radio station. And I want you to come on the prime time, show. This is going to be amazing. The monk from Miami. So I was thinking, my God, now if I tell him I'm not like, no, I'm from London, I'm from Wembley. You liar. So I said, I can't do it now, so I have to do it. So I went on BBC radio. I'm the mom from Miami. I still got a recording of that. So like this, amazing things would happen. It's an adventure. Krishna consciousness is an adventure. I'll tell you another amazing story. Before my name was Sutapa. So what happened is, one morning I got 20 missed calls on my phone. So you know sometimes if someone calls you, then you just see the number, but you don't see the name. So this person called me 20 times. I thought, who's calling me? I don't know this number. I tried to call back, but they didn't pick up. So I thought, I'll ring back later. If they call me 20 times, must be important. So what I did is I saved it as A in my phone book. So the first number, A. Then I thought, then I'll remember, I'll call them back. But I didn't. 1 year went past. And I didn't do anything. Then after 1 year, one morning I was going out on book distribution, I was packing my luggage, but somehow I moved my phone and it started ringing that number. This is 1 year later. So I thought, this number 8, oh that's that number, 1 year ago, they called me. So it was ringing, so I thought, let me just put this down. That's gone, that was last year. So I cancelled the call. Anyway, then I went out on book distribution. So I went to this one place called Banbury. It's near Oxford. I'd never been there before. In the middle of the day, one person stops. He's very interested. He said, I want one of each of the different books. So I gave him many books. So then he walked away. He came back. He said, it's funny I should meet you today. Because this morning a Hare Krishna called me. So I said, who is it? Maybe I know them. He said, hang on. Then he pulled out his phone. He said, Sutapa. You know who that is? I said, Baba, that's me. He said, what are you talking about? And then I remembered, oh, that number. So then I pulled out my phone. I said, hang on. Is your number 07? He goes, how do you know my number? I said, how do you know my number? So what had happened is 1 year ago, he was getting interested in spiritual things. So his friend knew me, and his friend told him, if you call this monk, he can give you books. So he called me 1 year ago. I missed his call. 1 year later, I accidentally called him, and on that very day, amongst 100 million people in the country, I meet him. Adyapiha Shay Leela Kah Gaur Roy Kona Kona Bhagyavan Dekhi Bar Pai. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says the pastimes of Chaitanya Dev are going on even today. If you simply, Kona Kona Bhagyavan, if you're fortunate, if somehow or other we get involved, get excited, start participating, Dekhi Bada Boy, you can see those pastimes in front of your eyes. So it's the great, how did my life change? It became the greatest adventure. Wouldn't change it for anything. And when I accepted the renounced order of life, how did that change things? Kadamba Kananwai says when you get a danda is like an amplifier. So everything just becomes bigger. So yes, when we took sannyas, many things changed. More traveling, more programs, more service. But same person, same soul trying to find Krishna. What's in the name? In one sense, a lot of blessings, but in another sense, behind it is the same person. When I grew up, I had the name Sandeep. And then later on, I joined the temple and I became Bhakta Sandeep. And then I got initiated by the mercy of my revered spiritual master, and I got the name Sutapadas. And nowadays, I walk around with one of these. There you go. Swami. But what's in the name? Ultimately, we're all just humble servants of Krishna. So in another sense, nothing changed. I think when you take the renounced order of life, in one sense everything changes, and in another sense nothing changes. Because we still wake up the next day, we still go to Mangalarati, we still try to be a servant, we still have to overcome our own pride. So, in that way, everything changes, but nothing changes. So please give me your blessings. I'm just trying, a small person. Maybe 6'5", but small. Small. Spiritual, but it's a great blessing. So yeah, whatever, you have your path. Some people look at me and they say, oh, Sunya, it's such a great achievement. I never really saw it so much as an achievement. I saw it as an opportunity to serve. And in your life, so many opportunities will come to serve. I think whoever in Krishna consciousness gets excited about service. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Ki. I think anyone in Krishna consciousness who gets excited by service, I think your spiritual life becomes very amazing. Just roll up your sleeves and get into the Krishna consciousness movement. Don't just be a observer. Dive in, be part of Mahaprabhu's pastimes. And however you do that, it's all glorious. Grihe thako, vane thako, sada hari bole dako. Be a householder, be a vanaprastha, be a sannyasi, no problem. Sada hari bole dako. Just take Krishna's names and serve. It's very beautiful. So everyone has that opportunity. See, you can reach people I can't reach. Like we give a class and okay, people are kind, they encourage us, but still people look at us and they're like, that's too far away. I would never do that. They look at our life and we're so far away from people. But you're relatable to people, you're very close. And if you show that you're doing everything that they're doing, but you also doing it in a spiritual way, you have this other dimension, they look at you and you can be more inspiring. Therefore, even when George Harrison wanted to join the temple, Prabhupada said, no, you don't need to. But Prabhupada, I want to get initiated by you. No need. You are already Hari's son. Harrison. No problem. You're already Hari's son. You stay where you are. Sthane stita shruti gadam tanu vanmano bhir. You don't need to move. Sthane stita, just be where you are. But make songs about Krishna. And how many songs he made about Krishna. And how many people heard about Krishna from him. So walk your own path. And all paths are beautiful. Any path which is filled with service to Krishna is beautiful. It doesn't matter whether it's in this ashram or that ashram. It makes no difference whatsoever. The real thing is if you fill your life with service. Because at the end of life, maybe Prabhupada will come to us and Prabhupada will ask, and what did you do for the Krishna consciousness movement? And hopefully we'll have something to report. Prabhupada, I was a bit spaced out. I missed a few Mangalites, but I tried to do this. Okay, you can go. So we tried to do something to serve Prabhupada. Is that okay? Sorry, today my answers are very long-winded. What to do? I'll be shorter now. Is that okay? Did that answer your question? Yeah. Is that a thumbs up or is that an extra hand? Oh, thumbs up. Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna. So, just jumping on the back of what you said now, you gave a class about conventional devotees, committed devotees, and confidential devotees. Would you please help to explain, elaborate?
So this is the modern terminology I'm using of what is actually explained by Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami says there are 3 types of devotee, broadly speaking. The first one is the casual devotee, the one who comes in, is very nice, comes, appreciates Krishna, likes the devotees, does some service, but still Krishna is just a small part of their life. Yes, we have an altar at home. Yes, we offer something. But still, Krishna is a part of their life. And then they have many other things they do in life where Krishna is not involved. But that's still nice. They're still a devotee. But that's the casual devotee. And then Rupa Goswami explains that when one becomes further on the path, then they become a committed devotee. So a committed devotee means one who Krishna has begun to enter every part of their life. Yat karoshi yadashnashi yat johoshi dadashi yat tapasyashi konteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Krishna says, everything you do, everything you eat, everything you offer, everything you endeavor for, do it in connection with me. So a committed devotee learns how to connect everything in their life to Krishna. So then you begin to think, wow, when will I ever get there? That's so high, that's so advanced, that's so committed. I don't know if I want to be that committed. But Rupa Goswami says there's something even beyond that. Because some people are casual devotees, most. Very few will become committed devotees. But maybe one will become a confidential devotee. And what's a confidential devotee? They're the ones who have developed so much love in their heart that they go beyond just doing things because of rules, regulations, because they philosophy and guru told them to do it. They've developed a spontaneous love for Krishna, which means that they just can't think of anything else except Krishna. They've developed such an intimacy with Krishna that they offer everything to Krishna. But then they say, I offer everything to Krishna, but Krishna is mine. Mamatam. They become very closely and intimately connected with Krishna. So this is the nature of Raja Bhakti. Vrindavan is a very special place because in Vrindavan, Krishna loves his devotees as much as they love him. Krishna needs his devotees as much as they need him. In Vrindavan, the love between Krishna and his devotees is very confidential because they've conquered each other's hearts. And this is what it means to be a confidential devotee. So first, we have to make the emphasis to go from being casual to being committed. And then as we practice committed devotional service, and then we receive many blessings from the Vaishnavas, then if we connect with the spirit of Vrindavan, then by Krishna's grace, one day will become a confidential devotee. And then you can be with Krishna in Vrindavan, run with Krishna, play with Krishna, joke with Krishna, have lunch with Krishna. Yes, it's all possible. But Vrindavan is not the place only for someone who's committed. Vrindavan is the place for someone who has become confidential. That's another level. Okay. Anyone in the audience?
Hare Krishna. This is a practical and a real life situation. Thousands of fathers work hard, they have lots of children, they work 7 days a week, they don't go to the temple, but they have God in them. So, what can you say to such people who work for the children, feed them, pay the rent, pay the light and water, clothe them and send them to school, but they don't go to the church because they are so committed in working and providing food to put on the table? How do they reach Lord Krishna?
Thank you so much. Yes, parents are working so hard. See, when I became a monk and my parents were opposing me, I looked at my parents and I was very immature. I said, why are they opposing me? That, they don't understand. This is the goal of life. They're in Maya. And then later on, as I became mature, I realized my parents came to a foreign country with nothing. And they worked hard. And why did they work hard? Because they wanted us to have a good future. And so everything was going well. And then this crazy boy wants to walk away from it all. But we were working for you only. Yes, but I have to go. So later on I realized why it was so painful to them. Because they had done it out of their love, out of their affection. And then I just walked away from it all. So parents are incredible. They make so much sacrifice for their children. They make so much endeavor. Prabhupada said the purest type of love in the world is the love of a mother for its child. It's so selfless. Even to this day, when I go home, the first thing my mom asks me? Where's your laundry? See, this is like the highlight for her, if she can wash my clothes. So such a service attitude. So definitely for their dutifulness and for their selflessness, Krishna will reward them. However, what does it mean to be a parent? Bhagavatam tells us, Gurur nasasyad svajano nasasyad, pita nasasyad, janani nasasyad, devim natatsyan, napatishcha shasyan, namo chayadya, samupeta mrityum. Don't become a husband, don't become a guru, don't become a demigod, don't become a mother, don't become a father if you cannot deliver your dependents from the cycle of birth and death. Amongst all the duties that parents have towards their children, yes, you have to clothe them. Yes, you have to give them education. Yes, you have to make them mentally stable. Yes, you have to support them in all material ways. But you also have to tell them the goal of life. If you do everything for your child materially, but you don't tell them the goal of life, then have you done your duty, full duty as a parent? Namo Jayadya Samupreta Mrityum. That's what you must do. So, it's very good to be dutiful in your dharma. But if all of your dharma doesn't encompass bhakti, and you don't teach bhakti to Krishna, to God, then you are not doing the full job. So yes, how can you teach your children anything that you're not following yourself? So therefore, a parent must be a devotee. A parent must love Krishna. A parent must develop their own spiritual life, because you can't give what you don't have. And so amongst all the duties of the parent is the duty to be a pure devotee of Krishna. Because when you become a pure devotee of Krishna, then you may have some chance of helping your children to also become pure devotees of Krishna. So, don't forget that amongst all the busyness of the world. So we offer thousands of respects to our parents who materially made so many sacrifices for us. But we also humbly remind that along with that, there must also be a spiritual service. And then you've done your full duty as a parent. Is it fair?
Is there any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Swami Maharaj. What are some of the challenges that you have faced now that you have become a monk?
You mean sannyasi? Or, okay. Remember, Mataji, I said, in one sense, when you become a sannyasi, everything changes and nothing changes. So the same challenges I had before, the same challenges that maybe many of you also have. We struggle with some enthusiasm sometimes, we struggle with determination. I don't come in front of you pretending to be a pure devotee of Krishna. It's not that overnight when you take the vow of sannyas, all of a sudden, ding, you become like perfect specimen. I wish it was like that. But no, we are also works in progress. But I think one of the biggest challenges when you take sannyas is how much you receive. We receive a lot of prasadam. Maharaj, king of the Mahaprasad. So we receive a lot of prasadam, we receive a lot of respect, we receive a lot of kind and encouraging appreciation, we receive a lot of attention. So do you see, you begin receiving a lot. So my spiritual master told me, the only way you can survive is if you give more than you get. So if you get more respect, you have to give more service. If you get more appreciation, you have to give more sacrifice. If you get more prasad, then you have to give more sweat in Krishna's service. The only way you can survive is if you give more than you get. So I'm failing miserably to give more. I'm trying. But all the Vaishnavas are so kind. You're giving me so much encouragement, words, kind. I don't deserve it. So that's hard. It's a challenge. But it's good. It's a good challenge because every day it makes me wake up and realize I got to do more. You're giving me more than I deserve, so I have to give more. So that's what I'm trying to do. And that's what we all do. So, yeah, that's me. So I'm saying here, I'm just trying to be very honest with you. I don't want to try to present something I'm not. I feel we just need to be very honest and try. So I'm trying. Thank you. Hare Krishna. I don't know how long we should be okay. Maybe what last question? Well, am I informed? I don't want to hold everyone. It's hot outside. So as you tell me, whatever. Let's do that.
You have books also that you want to say?
We've run out, unfortunately. Oh no, we have In Essence. No?
We have?
Yeah, we have In Essence. Right? In Essence, Radharaman? We have In Essence books there? Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for this enlightening session. I would love to hear your thoughts and realizations on two statements. We have heard that Bhakti Devi leaves Vrindavan and she's going to go off to far-off places across the seas. And our Srila Prabhupada is credited with having done that. So the first statement I'd like your comments on is the vow that, and this is a lesser known one, the vow that Narada Muni has taken in front of Bhakti Devi, where he says that there is no meaning to my devotion until and unless I enter the homes and hearts of every single one in Kali Yuga. And the second statement I'd like to your realizations on is that after the advent of Mahaprabhu, every single living entity, not just on this earth planet, but throughout all the universes, are benedicted with the good fortune of going back home, back to Godhead. So it seems, Maharaji, that this Sankirtan mission is just getting warmed up. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have to say I'm not fully conversant with all the details of the pastime, but we do know Narad Muni's pivotal role in sharing bhakti in the universe. Narada, his name means one who is always giving Narayan. And so therefore Narada Muni is the preacher who goes everywhere. He goes to every kind of person, he goes to every kind of situation, and he knows every kind of unique way to bring some